Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 69 today and we are back for a massive couple of games. We've got a home match against Botosani in the Europa League, with a victory giving us a real opportunity to get through to the knockout stages for the first ever time in Europe's second competition. We've also then got a league game against Haverfordwest, which looks like an easy one. They're bottom of the league on 10 points, but they are the only side who have beaten current leaders TNS. They spent big money in the last January window, and when they want to, they can turn up to the party. So we'll see if that day's going to be today. As you can see, we'll also reflect on a great start for TNS and what potentially could be a big season for Welsh football. So if you're looking forward to all of that, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily content from 2 long-term stories, and turn that notification bell on to make sure you don't miss a beat, including the live streams and special episodes too. A massive thank you for all of your support. You can catch up with anything you've missed in the eye above. But let's go and talk about Bangor City, because we've got a lot of games to reflect on. So, you were last with me as we played Larn and that incredible game against Dynamo Kiev. Now since then, there's actually been a fair bit of disappointment, but we are still unbeaten. So let's go through the other games. We won 3-1 against Airbus UK in a League Cup third round. Glatzel and a Banks brace got the goals there, and a few youngsters got a debut off the bench. Against Rapid Vienna in the Europa League, we were held to a 2-2 draw. Joe Duffy scoring to bring us back to level terms twice. And in the end, it was a pretty decent outcome for us. A 2-0 win away at Aberystwyth, Weaver and Duffy with second half goals there. A 2-1 win away at Rangers Reserves in the SPFL Trust Trophy. A bizarre early on goal for Archie Woods. But actually after that, I think we were probably producing one of our best performances of the season. Maguire and Duffy got the goals. There were a few decent names out for Rangers, but we managed to edge through to victory. TNS, as it stands in that game, unfortunately knocked out by Port Vale on penalties, who are now in the National League in England. A 5-1 win against Aberystwyth again, Max Dean with 4 and Joe Duffy with a goal. And interestingly, the player who scored for Aberystwyth and has been scoring lots of goals this season, Owen McMinamy, is one of those youngsters who was poached from us to go to Wolves in England before he made our youth intake. He's come back to the Welsh League now and he's flying. He's got 15 goals in 10 starts. We actually brought him in on trial in the summer, but he wasn't good enough. And I'm kind of wishing we had got him in now, because he's some player. And like Banks, he's really developing well as a youngster. So a good sign to see for Welsh football if nothing else. However, more disappointment followed after that because we were held 2-2 away at Bala. Just a crazy 2 minutes. What happened is that Dean Rogers had a knock and we had to bring on Peter Holding. And then the same happened in midfield with Cannell and we had to bring on Martin Sinclair. And they scored 2 in 2 minutes. In the end, Josh Benson saved the day with a last minute pen. Tom Jones, the youngster, was brilliant. He got a first half goal again. Might struggle for as much football now that Ben Cottrell's just coming back from injury. But in the end, we kept the unbeaten run going. So I guess that's all we could have asked for. The same sort of happened against Botosani. A good first half, Joe Duffy getting the opener. But the last 25 minutes, we were just awful. In the end, we were trying to cling on. We made defensive changes with Harvey Lewid and Luca Cannell. But it was a 1-1 draw. And again, we're happy. We've got 5 points after 3 games. And we picked up results on the road. But to be honest, I would have expected a win there. The way we played the first half in particular. We did bounce back with goals against Kefan Druids though. A hat-trick for Banks, a goal for Hughes, and one for Tom Jones late on after an own goal too. And then a 1-0 win at home to Newtown. Archie Woods with a fantastic finish. But our striker's just starting to struggle for form. Glatzel coming back from injury. He's not been at his best. And we've also got Ben Cottrell coming back too, of course. So maybe they will make a difference. We'll wait and see. But before we go and head into the Botosani game, I wanted to talk about transfers quickly. Not ones that have been done, because nothing's really happening on our front. But I've been keeping an eye, of course, on the transfer rumours screen, just to see who the other sides are linked with. TNS have been linked with Luca Hall, who is a step up in player, a quality right back, but more importantly, they've also been linked with this guy, Ronan Hughes, who is a fantastic midfielder at 28, has been playing in the English and Scottish leagues for a long time. But if they could start signing players like this, alongside Clifford, alongside that right back, they start to have a very good team that can compete in all the competitions over a season. So they've been linked with him for ages. He's got major interest from them. I just hope they sign him before he goes and retires. That's something we really have to watch out for, because TNS there could be making major moves. If they sign players like that more often, they could be a big threat. Having said that, I know they've just started to drop some points. They've only dropped 7 all season. They've only lost one game against Haverfordwest, our second opponents today, and we're 10 points behind them with 5 games in hand. So if we drop some points after difficult European ties, you never know what might happen. But speaking of Europe, we've got a big game today. A home win against Botosani puts us on 8 points. Dynamo Kiev currently on 6, Rapid Vienna on 4. So I guess based on that, we have to hope that Dynamo Kiev then beat Rapid Vienna, and then we can get a result away from home against them. That's all we can hope for at this point. So let's go and get into it. The drop points against Botosani on the road may well turn out to be crucial. But either way, this is the 11 we've gone for today. It's George Wickens in goal, Hampson and Weaver the fullbacks with Badebo and Alzabad at centre-half, Woods, Williams, Brooks and Maguire the midfield diamond, and then Dean and Duffy up front. Ben Cottrell just back but not fit enough yet. He'll get a return from the bench at the weekend. And Glatzel is back from injury and back on the bench for this one. So into the first game we go, a crucial one in the Europa League group stages. If we don't win this, we can probably kiss goodbye to qualification, and it'll be Europa Conference knockouts again, rather than our first appearance in the Europa League last 32. With a pretty unrecognisable side and just 6 subs for Botosani, we should be winning this one comfortably. But of course in the reverse fixture, they really gave us a threat, particularly in that last half an hour. They threw everything at us and we struggled to compete. Let's hope the same doesn't happen today. They've matched us up with a diamond straight away here. When they came back into the game the last half an hour of the first game, they had 2 midfielders and then 3 narrow attacking mids. But they've gone for a narrow tactic again, and they seem to stifle us a lot better. But let's see if we can rectify that now, as Hampson charging down the right hand side. No real pressure on him as he gets to the byline. Back to Daniel Williams. He cuts back to Woods. He's got a couple of safe options, and he takes one of them, all the way back to Badebo. Out to Weaver on the left-hand side. Through ball to Dean. Unlocks the defence. It's a brilliant save. But Callum Maguire on the rebound. The keeper was just getting back up. He had to guide it well. And my word, he did. Perfect placement. 1-0 Bangor City. The narrow diamond has not stopped us yet. And we've got the ball again on the right-hand side with Ian Hampson. He's picking it up to Williams. Chance to cross early. It's cleared away to the edge of the box. And this is where we've got to be careful, because they've got those 2 up front. Hampson picks the ball up on the right though. Slides it through towards Max Dean. Beats the defender. Across for Duffy. And Lovely just nicks in front of his defender to tap in. It's 2-0 Bangor City. Surely we're going to win this game. I know we went 2-0 down against Dynamo Kiev and then came back. But I don't know that this side are capable of it. Now our eyes stay on the other result. Look at Larne as well in the other group. Did you notice that? Up to 6 points now in second place. That shows how good that result was in the SPFL Trust Trophy. As Daniel Williams crosses again, Brooks misses the header. It still falls for him at the back post though to Weaver. Cuts it back to Archie Woods. He's got a man over on the right. Instead plays short to Maguire and it's intercepted. Only cleared as far as Alzabad though. Hampson's outside of him. He's got time and space to run into. Instead slides it through to Max Dean. It's a wonderful stop by the keeper. Really is a strong hand to keep that out. And with 10 to the break, it remains 2 as a result. We're half time and unfortunately it's not finished in the best circumstances because Ian Hampson, the right back, has picked up an injury. Jack Hankin, the original Youth Academy start, will get his chance in the second half. It's another Europa League appearance for him. It really shows how far we've come. But let's just hope this half's comfortable. No frills, no excitement. Just a comfortable 2-0 win will do us. As we're 25 to go, it's a throw-in for Botosani at right back, just inside our half. And they're playing it nicely in midfield here. They're a good football inside. We've got to give them that. And that's awful goalkeeping. I think the flag's going to save us. I think VAR will do it for us. But George Wickham, positioning-wise, what on earth are you doing there? Thankfully, the offside flag saves us. But that was a bizarre old moment. And with 20 to go, I'm going to start resting people. Brooks is going to come off. We'll bring on Luca Cannell for him. We'll give it 10 more before the last one. I'm not sure who it's going to be just yet. Maybe Weaver at left back. He's been struggling with fatigue. Probably the only one who's not really had an international break yet, because he's been going off and playing for Wales 21s. And he comes out from left back again to Cannell. Long ball downfield. Joe Duffy's chasing it. If we get the third, we will take him off. He tries to lob the keeper who's 1 yard out. It's a very strange decision, I've got to be honest. But in the end, it remains 2-0. I think we're going to do it. Or do we just rest him completely at the weekend? Do you know what? I know he scored today. I'm going to take Maguire off for Tom Jones. He is our first excellent academy prospect. I've got to give him as much football as possible. And don't forget, against Dynamo Kiev, he scored. It's a long ball forward, and we might regret that if they flick on and make it 2-1 here. Alzabad caught out, it is 2-1. Oh, we've done it too early. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the graphics there, But with 12 minutes to go, a missed header from Badebo and a substitution with arrogance has left us fighting for the 3 points. But we've got a free kick on the right hand side in our opposition's area, and it's a good opportunity for us to go forward here. We're back with Cannell, he gets it through to Jones. Oh, he scored again. Tom Jones is one hell of a young prospect. He scores another one to wrap this game up. He scored against Dinamo Kiev, he scored against Botosani, and he is starting to make real shockwaves towards the first team. And if Ben Cottrell can't recover, I'd imagine he'll overtake Maguire soon. As Woods heads it down for Williams, can we put some gloss on it? Jones finds the ball out to Hankin. The 2 youth prospects linking up, and Jack Hankin's delivery is perfect. Right on the boot of Joe Duffy, 6 to 8 yards out, and he rifles it into the roof of the net. 4-1 to Bangor City. Probably didn't deserve to be that far apart from Botosani, but we'll take it. We move on to 8 points, and we've now got a great chance of getting through in the Europa League. Albeit the 2 toughest games are coming up away at Rapid Vienna and Dinamo Kiev. But a brilliant victory to get us in contention. And now we've got to take care of domestic matters. We'll be back in a moment. Well, we're back for Haverfordwest, and this is going to be a very different sort of appearance for us because we're going to have to rotate heavily. We've got 13 squad players going on international duty, albeit mostly youngsters, over the next 2 weeks. And we've still got to face the likes of Landudno and Ayr 3 days apart in that time. So perhaps we're going to become victims of our own success here. But let's go and make the changes to the team, and then we'll go and see what our 11 is for today, because I'm going to have to pick this one very carefully. So here's what we've gone for. It is a complete rotation, and we've got to be very careful in some areas, because if we have a look at like left back, for example, we've got Weaver, who for the first time ever, I think, I've seen a fatigue level of becoming fatigued. Anything other than low or fresh is a concern to me. We have got Ben Cottrell coming back, who can be a utility left back if needed, albeit I'd rather he do that when fully fit, but there are options there. Now, the likes of Banks might not have started this game, but he's away on international duty the next 2. The same for Tom Jones, who's broken into the Welsh under-21 squad. We've also got to be aware of people like Jack Hankin, who already have a fairly big match load, albeit with some of his appearances off the bench, and then Luca Cannell, who's going to tire quickly too. Harvey Lewid is away on internationals as well, I think, so we've got quite a few that are going to be missing. And eventually we're going to run out of players if this keeps happening. So today's lineup is very rotated. It's Ratcliffe in goal, Hankin and Clark the fullbacks with Hughes and Rogers as centre-half, Lewid, Benson, Cannell and Tom Jones the midfield 4, Glatzel and Banks together up front. We've got Ben Cottrell coming back to fitness on the bench, a couple of youngsters in Sinclair and Morgan, and the rest of them slightly more attacking and slightly more first team ready. Let's go and get into the second game today then, a big one in the Welsh Premier League. The side that are bottom but shocked TNS. Let's hope they don't do the same to us. Here we go then. Richard Roberts, one of our former players, now starting for them in central midfield. The same for Ben Eriksson as centre-half. And they've also got up front Lewis Smothers, who was one of the top scorers in the league in recent seasons. So let's go and get into the first half. It's a big game for us here. We've just got to avoid the potential banana skin. And if we can do that, I think we'll pip TNS to the title, though good to see they're still winning as well. And early on, we've got a throw-in on the right with Hankin. It's pouring with rain here, and we've got a chance to get it on a slick surface. Back into Benson. Crosses early. Clark's at the back stick. Loves a finish himself. Cuts it into Tom Jones. Blocked to Glatzel. And there's his first goal back from injury. Maybe it's not going to be the slip-up after all. And hopefully we can see a really convincing win. That's what we'd like out of today. As Smothers plays back to Hall from the centre kick. Onto the front foot with Richard Roberts, our former youth player. Back to Eriksson, another one of our former stars. Out to Chapman on the left. The last thing we want to let them do is get straight back into this. Roberts will try the Hollywood pass. Up to Smothers, down to Wilson. He's in here. Wilson's one-on-one. It's going to be a penalty kick. Rogers and Hankin went in for the challenge. I think it's Hankin that's brought him down. And immediately from the kickoff, Haverfordwest have a penalty and a chance to draw level. It's smashed down the middle from Smothers. And there was no chance for Ratcliffe, the keeper. 1-1 with 10 minutes gone. Game on. Well, rather worryingly, it's almost half time. We've only had 2 shots on target since our goal and no highlights whatsoever. So Haverfordwest, they might not be the best side in the league, but they must have a lot of big game players because they are turning up here. We're going to point the finger at the boys, tell them to improve. It's got to be better than that. But this is going to be a very crucial second half because if we drop points here, TNS could be favourites for the title, you know. Right, there's just over 25 minutes to go, and I'm sorry, I've got to bring on the cavalry. We have got to do something about this. Max Dean will come on up front alongside Glatzel. He'll replace Banks, the youngster. I want to take off one of the defenders, but I don't know if that's the best use of a substitution. Cannell's going to be replaced, I think, by Archie Woods or by Cottrell. Let's make it Cottrell. So Cannell replaced by Cottrell. We are going to bring off Ryan Hughes for Alzabad. I've got to shore things up at the back. We cannot risk conceding a second. I know that means Callum Maguire's still sitting on the bench, but we've got 3 of the superstars on. So 25 minutes to go. One's coming back from injury, but surely Dean and Alzabad between them can produce something. Because we've seen absolutely nothing since our goal from us. Though it's a goal kick for Haverfordwest here. 20 minutes left. Clark heads the ball away, but it's straight to the right centre half. The 3 at the back has really worked for them here. Though we're forcing them backwards into a long clearance. Smotherth wins the flick on though. Palmer's got it on the right hand side. Is he going to be challenged? He takes on the fullback and Clark manages to hack it clear. It's straight to Sullivan again though. We cannot get out. And now we've missed the header at the back. Rogers misses it and Smothers has made it 2-1. Haverfordwest have scored again. What is it with this side? They're bottom of the league. They're going to have won 3 games all season if they win this one. And 2 of them would have been us and TNS. As the ball's into the box, headed away by Ericsson, our former player. Out to Tom Jones, who finds Alzabad. Chance to cross from the left into Max Dean. There's the run, there's the goal, and there's the bit of quality. The 2 first team subs we bring on combine, and we're back on level terms. Now 15 minutes to go and nick a winner. We need a champion's performance from now. I don't think we're going to get it. We're into stoppage time. And it's 2-2. Haverfordwest pick up a point, and all of their points are coming against the big boys. If only they could be consistent, they'd be right up there. But as it is, we've dropped 2 more points. And yes, it's still just about in our hands. We've got 5 games in hand, and we're only 12 points behind. But this is going to be a title race again this year. If TNS can start to sign some of those free agents, if they can bring in that Ronan Hughes, if they can bring in that right back Hall, they could be a force to be reckoned with. Because with us playing European football and having to rotate, our backup team is weaker than last year. And it's great that we're getting some of the youngsters football, but it leads to results like this occasionally. A brilliant result from Haverfordwest, and 2 more drop points for Bangor City. We've drawn very lower league opposition in the cup, we'll take that result. But what a performance it was from our visitors today. And because of that, it is going to be a very close title race in the Welsh League. Now what we're going to do, of course, is come back for the final game of the Europa League group stage against Rapid Vienna. I wouldn't expect us to get anything at Dynamo Kiev, but the home performance was absolutely outstanding. So maybe we can sneak through there. But if not, it will be Rapid Vienna, and we'll follow it up with Bala again. They're the other side who we've failed to beat in the league this season. So it should be another difficult test for us. But if you did enjoy it, that shock draw in the Welsh Premier League and a brilliant performance in Europe, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. Turn that notification bell on to get alerts every time a new video is released and every time we go live for our streams as well. And you can catch up with all the playlists in the eye above, including the live stream series and of course the football podcast channel too. But a massive thank you for watching as always. Let me know in the comments what you think of this new and improved TNS. And do you think we're going to win the title? There is a genuine risk we might drop too many points here. I'll see you next time to find out if we can get on course.